What is up, everybody? It's your boy Duty back again with another video, and this time we're taking a look at our boy DSP's daily rap video after a day of Elden Ring and Battlefront Classic. That's right, our boy brought out the old games to try to revitalize the business, and to some extent it did work out. Now, not for the reasons that Phil will have you believe. It was mostly due in part to his Beg Alert, which started out yesterday during his daily rap video, and then forward to the podcast. So let's see what Phil had to say on the daily rap, and I got a lot to say, especially about last night's Battlefront fiasco. Let's get into it.
A day when we posed a question: what are we going to do for the future? Because now it's April, we are out of RPG overload. I'm trying out new games, we're trying to figure out time slots, and right now some stuff is working and some stuff isn't. And so we had a ginormous segment on today's Level 1 podcast this morning about it. And basically, here's the deal. Certain games are working very well. Alone in the Dark has done good. The first 2 streams I've done of it. The game is great. People are enjoying it. 2 thumbs up, right? But as for everything else, for example, bringing back Dragon's Dogma 2 into the mix hasn't been doing well. Attendance, engagement, and support have all kind of been low. And so I was talking with my audience about what do you think about that? How do you think Elden Ring will do, etc., etc. We had a really interesting conversation, and essentially this morning, people were on the fence about it. Some people are like, no, keep playing Dragon's Dogma 2, despite the fact that basically no one's showing up and supporting it. Others are like, well, you see, it's because you got rid of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And I'm like, but that game I played for over 20 hours, and it went to the point where I was getting 200 viewers a stream and no support either. No one cared about it, you know? So I don't get it. It seems that what we have is a group of vocal people who say they want stuff, but then when I actually play it, they don't show up. Okay? I'm just being honest. It is kind of frustrating when I'm trying to listen to what my audience is telling me to do. Keep in mind, originally I wasn't even going to play Dragon's Dogma 2. I was going to play Rise of the Ronin, right? And I was outright told by my audience, don't do that. Play Dragon's Dogma 2. That's the better game. That's the one you're going to want to play. Anyway.
All right, so this little segment here may go a little longer, and I apologize if I use inappropriate language. And YouTube, if you're listening, my apologies, but Phil brings the worst out of me. That is a fucking lie. That is a fucking lie, Phil. You wanted to play Dragon's Dogma. You were on the fence. You didn't know what to play. And what you did was you gave the Dents 2 options. You said, hey, here's a shit pie and here's a shit cake. Which one do you want? And the vast majority of the people in your chat said play Dragon's Dogma because they were hearing a lot of bad things about Rise of the Ronin. They were hearing that it was choppy, it was repetitive, it's not that good of a game. Don't bother playing it. Play Dragon's Dogma because there was more hype for it. And you, like the fucking idiot, you know, after talking about RPG burnout for fucking months, you go ahead and play Dragon's Dogma. So don't sit here and make it seem like you were fucking dead set on Rise of the Ronin, and for some reason your dents made you believe that there was all this support for Dragon's Dogma, so you went ahead and you fucking played it. What you should have fucking did was play both games. Stop being fucking cheap. Spend a little extra fucking cash. It's not like you fucking spend tons of money on games, Phil. What was your last purchase? Battlefront, which cost you what, $30? And then before that, what was your last purchase? Final Fantasy, which cost you $70? This is part of fucking running a business, Phil. And if you the adage is, if you want to make money, you have to fucking spend money. So you can't sit here and fucking bitch and complain that the cost of games are too expensive, right? And then bitch and complain that no one's viewing your fucking playthroughs. And the other thing I want to fucking point out, Phil, is that you're sitting here complaining that Final Fantasy, Dragon's Dogma, these playthroughs were only getting 200 viewers. That is the vast majority of your fucking playthroughs, Phil. It doesn't matter what you fucking do, you get about 200 people. Now, initially you may get some big views when you first play it, but it fucking dies down. It always does. I don't know why you're surprised about this and you act like this is something fucking new. And it's not. It's not. Even fucking Baldur's Gate, after like the 5th playthrough, you were barely getting 200 people to watch your shit. Because that's your core support. 200 people. And then anything above that are fucking LARPers or detractors. That's it. Last night you had, what, 400 people watching your Battlefront? 200 were fucking detractors watching it to see you play a shitty multiplayer and you look fucking ridiculous. And I want to highlight that point too, but I'm not going to get into that segment. I'll let you talk about Battlefront now. I'll get into that a little bit more. So yeah, Phil, you're a fucking moron. I fucking can't stand you. And the other thing too is you're gonna fucking gloat about making money. Yesterday, right? Your Battlefront. That was only because you were fucking begging. This is the cycle with you, Phil. Your fucking support dries up for a week, and then you sit there and you act depressed and you act sad. And matter of fact, I'm not even gonna get into the fucking point when you started your podcast yesterday. And what did you fucking do? You fucking sighed and said, "Oh, I have so many problems. There's so many things going wrong." And then you listed 3 things that were going fucking wrong. That the sympathy beg, the pity fucking beg is what Phil did on his first hour of his fucking podcast. So what ends up happening is you have people who normally don't support because they can't afford it, throw you a couple bucks because they feel guilty that you're having so many fucking problems, Phil. And you are fucking pathetic. Fucking pathetic. And the other thing too, like people with like Final Fantasy and those playthroughs, people that want you to play them, the vast majority of the people can't afford to fucking pay you, Phil. They don't have that money. The way they do support is with a membership. Now, it's funny, you never fucking take that into consideration. These fucking dents, these 200 dents that pay for a fucking monthly membership, that's the support. They may not give you a tip, they may not give you a super chat, they may not give you a super thanks, they may not pledge you your Patreon, but they're giving you fucking money through a fucking membership, Phil. But of course, you can't fucking see that because you're a greedy little fucking asshole.
So we had a big discussion about it this morning, and I asked everyone for feedback. I'm hoping people will take that to heart and leave feedback on my podcast overnight on that, because I'd like to really know what people think about it and what to do. Okay, all that was the first stream. Then tonight on the late stream, I said I'm going to go back to Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection and see if it works. So here's in a nutshell the answer to that question. Okay, does the game work? Yes. Is the game functional to the point where you can say that a single match is competitively sound? Absolutely not. The game works, and it is better than it was at launch, but half the time, again, very hard for the hit detection to really register properly. Frequent freezes, stutters, teleporting, characters zooping all over the screen when they're not supposed to. But then it's funny, because then the game will work perfectly for a couple matches, and it's really, really fun. So it's kind of like half the time it works all the time, and the other half of the time it doesn't work at all, and it's just like a frustrating mix. The other thing is, as we discovered, sadly, after playing over the course of the night, there's only like 2 servers anyone plays on PlayStation 5. Seriously, like there's only 2 to select from. There's a bunch of servers, but no one joins them. Everyone only joins the 2 servers. And so you have to play on one of those 2 or you're not going to get a match. And it sucks because the 2 servers, there was no aerial fights. There was almost no vehicle fights. It was mostly just 32 versus 32 team-based stuff. There were a good amount of players, don't get me wrong. But that's it. I mean, no kidding. There's probably about 200 people playing this game at one time on PS5 now. That's it. 200 active players. That's it. At any given time. I can imagine it's probably way worse on Xbox, so I'm glad I didn't buy this thing on Xbox, but there's probably barely enough people to fill one lobby. So the thing is, when I was playing and it was working, I was having a ton of fun. It just was only doing that about half the time. But a good audience came out and wanted to hang out with me, and we had very silly conversation tonight. We were joking about Will Smith and J-Lo as musicians. We were joking about all kinds of different various topics. I was making, Wookiee cookie jokes and all kinds of stuff, and just having a good time with it. And I actually did some matches when the servers worked. I actually was getting kill streaks and stuff, which was fun. And we had a good time. Not only do we have great attendance and great engagement, the support was outstanding. The support tonight for Star Wars Battlefront Collection, which is a broken game that does not work, was more than twice the support that I had gotten on the Elden Ring stream. Okay? So, if anything, here's the deal. Alone in the Dark, doing good. Elden Ring, doing good. A random Battlefront stream does absolutely over-the-top outstanding. Okay? Why is it that the RPGs are underperforming? It's a very simple answer. Because there's too many fucking RPGs out at one time. The same exact thing that I said in January happened, has continued to happen, and is still happening now. It's not me, it's the fucking games. A game like the Battlefront Collection, we're just having fun, we're interacting, I'm being silly playing it, we can make jokes, we can have a good time. All of a sudden, people get invigorated, they want to support. A game like Elden Ring, it's exciting to see me jump back into an ultra-challenging game and see how I'm going to do, and see how overpowered this Glintstone magic run is. And a game like Alone in the Dark, people love my survival horror playthroughs because I put a lot of commentary into them, I get into the story, it's fun, right? RPGs are just RPGs. They're all going to be played similarly or the same, even if the playstyle of them is a little different. People are burnt out on them. They just are. Even if the games are good. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's good. Dragon's Dogma 2, it's good. But people don't want it anymore. That's why the engagement and support dried up for them. You're like, dude, too many. I agree with you. You know, over the course of the last 6 months, we had Like a Dragon Gaiden, Like a Dragon Infinite Well, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Baldur's Gate 3 endlessly. Now we've got Dragon's Dogma 2. That's too many RPGs in a short period of time. They don't work. But if I had skipped them, people would have just given me hell. Remember, I was going to skip Dragon's Dogma 2, and people were giving me hell, telling me I was doing the wrong thing. Now I'm playing it, and now all of a sudden the game is boring. Well, no shit. I knew it would be, because people don't want the same kind of game over and over. It would have been the same thing if it was a bunch of Mario games or platformers, if it was a bunch of fighting games. You know what I mean? It's the same deal. So, in light of that, I think tomorrow we need to regroup and talk about what to do. Do we even continue with the RPGs right now, or do we just say screw all of them? I mean, the schedule tomorrow is not going to change, and I'll talk about that in a sec. But tonight was definitive evidence that it's not me, because people came out, engaged, supported, and had a good time with a different kind of game, and that's a good thing. Okay? So, tomorrow, we'll have a level 1 podcast.
Man, there's just so much to fucking unpack here. So much to unpack here. Well, the first thing, of course, is it's not my fault. Phil did nothing fucking wrong. Of course, that's the thing. The other thing is, I don't understand his fucking reasoning. His reasoning is just borderline regarded. It is. It is. You had one night stream of Battlefront, which got you support. Okay, fine. So you're supposed to build your entire fucking argument on one stream. That because the Dents came out and supported Battlefront last night, that means everything you've said for the last year has been correct. Is that what you're trying to tell us, Phil? Thank God you never became a fucking scientist, because that's not how science works, Phil. You can't build fucking your theories and your hypotheses based on anecdotal evidence. You had one fucking night with mainstreams. Now, what you may want to do is you may want to look at to see what were the factors and why you had a good night stream. Well, the Daily Rap, you spent 17 minutes the night before bitching and complaining about support and how the business is in fucking danger. Then you jump on your fucking podcast and you start sighing and being all upset that everything in your life is going wrong and that you need help and that you have these 3 big problems that are hurting your fucking business and hurting your life. Fucking a pity podcast. And what ended up happening with Elden Ring? You made 60 fucking bucks on your first stream, which is a fucking disaster. And you made what, $10 in super chats? That's not a fucking successful stream. Look how low Phil has fucking dropped, right? Look how fucking low the bar is. This is a man who used to expect $200 in tips every fucking stream. And now making $60 on a stream, on a day stream, is success. All, of course, to prop up his shitty, stupid argument that RPGs are the fucking problems. Dickhead, Elden Ring is a fucking RPG. Alone in the Dark isn't getting huge support. You made 70 bucks on like your first 2 playthroughs. So now you're saying $70 and $60 is a good day. You're happy with that. Is that what you're saying, Phil? So the next time you get a string of fucking streams that make you 60 and 50 and 60 bucks, right? I don't want to fucking hear you talking about how support's been slow. How you're not making enough fucking money. Because if you look at the tips were fine. He made what, $170 yesterday on 2 streams, but your super chats are fucking shitty. I don't want to fucking hear you flathead motherfucker. I don't want to hear you complaining about the YouTube side contributions are low. Especially after this fucking bullshit right here, where you're talking about how support's been fucking great and it's RPG fucking burnout. No fucking Phil. I said this yesterday, the main fucking problem is you. You are the constant in this situation, Phil. It's you. Regardless of the games you're playing, regardless of the time, regardless of whatever fucking gimmick you're fucking trying to implement, it doesn't fucking matter. The results are always the same. And the fucking same factor in every one of those situations, Phil, is fucking you. Now, someone on the outside can look at that and say, well, maybe Phil's the fucking problem. But of course, no, not Phil. Not Phil at all. He rather fucking used this straw man fucking, one stream to prove that everything he said is fucking correct. No, Phil, everything you fucking said is not correct. And if you want to continue doing business this way, go the fuck ahead. I enjoy it because you look like a fucking idiot. Because every 3 to 5 days, you have to fucking come on and denigrate yourself. You have to come on stream and denigrate yourself by either you know, having pity streams, pity begs, outright fucking begging, right? And what did you implore yesterday? You fucking implored tip war. That's what you tried to do. You sat there like a fucking greedy asshole and started saying, well, you know, we're not going to get a tip bigger than $5. Oh, we're not going to get a tip bigger than $8. Oh, we're not going to get a tip bigger than $10. That's fucking disgusting, Phil. You're a fucking disgusting human being, and you piss me the fuck off. And when you do shit like that, it just makes me sit back and laugh to think about the fucking misery that comes to you. The misery that you have to live day in and day out. This pathetic fucking life where you have to sit there and fucking beg for change every day of your fucking life. And the funny part about it is your fucking addictions are fucking going to ruin you. And when your ass is homeless or having to go schlop back to Connecticut and live with your fucking parents, because that's eventually what's gonna fucking happen, I'm gonna sit back and point and fucking laugh at you, you flathead motherfucker. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace out.